So it's very, very important that when we start a spiritual practice, if we've invoked upon our Lama, and our Lama has kindly given us a practice, or done divination for us, or has taken the time to think or investigate and check for us, the least we can do is do the practice that we have received. The least we can do. If we are judgmental on even the practice that our Lama gives us, if we are judgmental or nitpicking, then that's a very wrong way to start your spiritual practice. Very, very wrong way to start. And if your Lama is giving you practices anywhere in the world, if your Lama is giving you practices that doesn't entail vows, that doesn't entail commitments, that doesn't entail rituals and initiations, and doesn't entail all types of difficult practices, and it's something simple, and you still cannot do it, then how do you advance? Don't you see people at the gym? Some people go there for years. There's no change in their physical body at all. Some get even bigger. Yet they still go there. Some even have a trainer. And you watch them with their trainer. They don't put their mind into their exercise. They just do as they're told, but they just push the machine, and that's about it. They don't do much. The trainer says up, down, up, down, up, down. They don't think, they don't concentrate, they don't get their position correct. They don't get their muscle inflection correctly. And they just do it. They just do it. They get zero result from the gym. Even they have trainers, they wasted the money, wasted people's time, wasted their own time. And when they finish, they didn't even know what to do still. Why? They never focused and concentrated. Taken for granted. So like that, just like spiritual practice, if our attitude toward everything in life is flippant, easy, whatever, then definitely during our spiritual practice, it'll be the same. And we shouldn't do that with our spiritual practice, because that is the most important practice that we can do for ourselves. So if our Lama has not given us anything complicated or difficult, and we still cannot do, and we still find it difficult, a bunch of words to recite, a few words, a few mantras, so simple and easy, and we still find so many reasons not to do it, that itself is an obstacle arising. Even a few words cannot. Never mind meditation, never mind contemplation, never mind more higher practices that bring bigger results, never mind all that. And then to actually acknowledge a practice from the Lama and say yes, and then not do it, and then break it, and not do it, and break it, and not do it, and break it. Most likely this type of person, advanced spiritually, definitely cannot. But in the material and worldly and normal day situation, also cannot advance. Why? If you don't care about losing $100 or $200, and you just take the money and just squeeze it and put it in your pocket, and it falls out when you're sitting, or when you're running here and there, it falls out, and you don't care, why would you worry about losing $1 or $2? Who is silly enough to not worry about losing $100 or $200 note? And if they lose it, they're like, oh, it's okay. But if they lose $1 or $2, they're very worried. They jump up and down. Oh my God, I lost $1. I lost it from my pocket when I was jumping. It should be the opposite, right? So like that, if we have our Lama, if we have a spiritual commitment and our Lama gives us something, and we don't care, it's according to our mood, it's according to how we feel, it's according to, our own lack of priorities, and we just throw those practices aside. And we promise, we do, we promise, we do, we don't do, then we do, and we don't do, and we always play this game. Then everything else in our life will be exactly the same. Why? The $100 and $1 example. So if we promise our Lama something, and we don't do it, that's how we treat everything in life. So if we treat things like that in life, do, don't do, maybe, maybe not, maybe not, then we look carefully in what we are focused in our life. If we look carefully, big things, important things, our mind is not there. But small things, we tell people, we explain, we focus on very small things, or we take things to cover that we cannot do bigger things. Why can we not do bigger things? We won't focus. We won't push ourselves. So when you give someone a practice, you can see very much their personality. very, very easily you can see their personality. You can gauge it just like that. And if people make a promise and they don't do it, incredible. Then they say, well, it's not my Lama. It's not my Guru. That's true. That is true. So Buddha Shakyamuni is not your Guru. So if you take the Bodhisattva vows in front of him, in front of an image of a Shakyamuni Buddha, and you don't want to keep it and you just break it, he's not your Guru. In fact, it's just a statue. He's not even there. So it's okay if I break my Bodhisattva vows. If we take a vow of not eating meat, vegetarianism for 15 days a month, or dedicate it for someone, we say in front of Kuan Yin statue, that's not your Guru. That's not your Guru. In what way is it your Guru? Is it even a real living Buddha according to your visualization, or is it a statue? So similarly, if it's not your Guru, it is a teacher. The teacher must have good motivation towards you. If the teacher is an advanced being, and the teacher has some sort of bodhicitta, or compassion, or love, or holds his or her vows well, is a proper object of refuge. It's a proper object of devotion, not refuge, devotion. So even those beings have more power than normal beings for blessings and inspiration. So when we promise them, and even if we don't have them as our Guru, and we break our promises to them, it has repercussions. Lying to our mother, and lying to our friend, and lying to someone we just met on the street, there are different repercussions in society. One who lies to the mother is considered very bad. One who lies to a friend is bad. One who lies to a stranger on the street, you're not a good person. They don't consider you very bad, but okay, not a good person. It has degrees. So if you break your commitment with your Lama, or you break your commitment with a being who has good intention towards you, there are different degrees. The karma comes differently. Very differently. So we have to think with our own minds. Very different. The object, the action, and the motivation creates the karma or the intensity. The object, the action, and intention. Those three make the intensity of the karma. Example. If we were sleeping and we have no intention and we're totally unaware and we roll over and on our bed and there's a cockroach and we kill it, the karma is very small, but it's there. If we chase around a room, if we run around a room and we're not aware and we don't care and we step on a cockroach because we don't care, but we didn't intend to, the karma is more than if we rolled over and killed the cockroach, but it's still there. If we take a can of bug spray and we wait in a corner and we enjoy killing cockroaches because we're bored, we broke up with our girlfriend, we dropped our computer, our mother won't give us more money, and we're frustrated and we need to take it out on somebody, and we sit in the corner and wait with a can of cockroach spray, and every time one comes out, we shoot them like they're a laser gun. And when they die, they roll over, they keel over, and their legs are moving like this, and they die slowly, and then they stop moving, and you feel victory, and you feel your anger has been taken out. Incredible karma. Incredible. And then some more after that, you rejoice. You enjoyed it. What a great way to take out my anger. Very bad karma. Killing the cockroach is the same thing. Killing is the same thing. And the intention. So the object, the action, and the intention makes a very big difference. A very, very big difference. Very big difference. So therefore, your Lama telling you to do something, if we have received, for example, highest empowerment from our Lama, and daily there's a 6-session Guru Yoga commitment, and there's a Guru devotion commitment, there are the Bodhisattva vows and the Tantric vows we need to do. Those are minimum. Even if our Lama hasn't required us to do a mantra. But the minimum is to uphold those vows by knowing what they are and Doing this 6-session Guru Yoga, that's a given. Every day, 6 sessions a day. That's 6 times. 3 in the morning, 3 at night, or all at once up to our time is a given. If we don't even do that, and we have received highest Lama empowerment from our Lamas, and we don't care, definitely the rest of our life will be failures. Definitely. We cannot finish this, we cannot do this, we complain, we get frustrated, we get angry, we take our anger out on people, we do this, we do that. Whatever we do cannot reach fruition and completion. Why? If we throw $100 away and we don't care, why would we worry about $1 thrown away? Why? You can check someone's conviction in their life, in themselves, and in other people by their spiritual practice. That's not the only way, but since we're in this, that's the way we can tell. For me, it is unimaginable. For me, it is unimaginable. It is beyond imagination that someone can take a commitment and not do it. Unimaginable. I remember in the last 25 years that I've been doing my sadhana, I missed it twice. Once is because I was in a center, I was working very, very hard, and I lay down for a few minutes. I was getting a few hours of sleep every day, and I fell asleep. Next day I woke up, the most scary feeling overcame me. I forgot. I didn't do my sadhana before I went to sleep. Oh, I could not stop crying because I received it all from Songren Rinpoche, and I was very worried. And I didn't know how to repair. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that it's all right because I didn't do it on purpose. Just do it twice the next day. I didn't know that. I couldn't go to work, and I was trembling. And I was thinking, oh no, next time I do retreats, how? Songren Rinpoche is not around anymore to repair, how? So I went up to see Geshe-la, and I was hysterical. And Geshe-la just looked at me and says, do it twice. I said, oh. I said, are you sure it's all right? He said, yes. And a few months ago, I overslept. Very exhausted. I don't know what I was doing. And I woke up the next day and I had this horrible feeling again. I said, uh-oh. But I did it twice the next day. Sometimes I do it 3 times. Sometimes I do it twice and I already did it once and I forgot. And so I'm thinking, oh, did I do that? Did I do that sadhana? Did I do it? So if when I'm in doubt, it's not worth it. Why? When I do exercises, if I feel I didn't do well, I do extra. If I want to make money and I didn't make enough, I work harder. So why not for my sadhana? So sometimes I do my sadhana twice. Sometimes in the middle of my sadhana, I say, oh, I already did this again. Darn. I went, what? What do you mean, darn? That's very good. Sometimes I do my mantra twice, just in case I'm not sure. So now I don't have a very scary, fearing, hysterical, oh my God, I'm a bad person, guilt complex if I forget. In the last 25 years, probably I forgot my sadhana twice. One of my mantras, because I received it when I was around, I don't know, about 12 or 13, something like that. So about 25 years plus ago when I received it. I broken the count. When I was running away from New Jersey, because I was sleeping on the street and I was hitchhiking, all that, I just couldn't do my sadhana. It was almost impossible outside. And I broke that mantra till I had to do 1,000 a day, which means initially when I promised it, it's 7 a day. You do 7 a day. You can do more than that if you wish, but 7 is a minimum. If you break it, it's 14. If you break it, it's 28, and then double and double, double. I broke it until it came out to 1,000. And the mantra is quite long. So I had to do 1,000 a day, which took me over an hour every single day. So you know when I did it? Because I had to work in McDonald's. And then I had to go to high school. In California, I went to high school until I got my GED, which is the General Education Diploma, which means GED is General Education Diploma. That is, if you don't finish high school, you can take a test. If you pass the test, you get your diploma. I got my diploma early. I got my diploma my sophomore year, which is the 10th grade. I don't know how I passed it. I think 2 or 3 kids in the school passed it. I was one of them. And halfway through the test, I just, the first 20, 30 pages, because the book is very thick, and it's dots. You ask a question, you have 5 dots, 6 dots, you fill in the dot. Yes, no, maybe, none of the above. So what I did was the first 20, 30 pages, I looked at the pattern of the dots. It was like, da, da, da. I went, oh, I think there seems to be a pattern. And I didn't have enough time to finish the test, so the rest of the book, I just followed the pattern. I passed. That's what I did. I actually passed. When they announced my name, and it's a high school, I mean, there are thousands of kids. Not everybody went. There was about 100 or 200 who had family problems, had to work, or poverty. I mean, it's usually for low-income kids or people who have problems or family problems that you go for this test so you can get out of high school early. It means you can go to work immediately. And that's what I need to do, go to work immediately. So until I left school, because legally you cannot leave unless you finish up to 12th grade, public school in the U.S., 12th grade, or 18. If you're 18, even you didn't finish school, you can leave. So I was neither 18, I didn't finish 12. So my 10th year, the sophomore year, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So my sophomore year, I took the test around October, November, and I passed. So I got out. Legally, I got my certificate, I can work. And if I want to go to city college, I can go to city college, not university. I have to go to city college, get the credits, and go to university, because I forget about that. I didn't have the money. So I had to walk to school. So where I was staying, that's when I first arrived in California. I stayed with my cousin for about 2-3 months until I got my GED. Then I moved to the city, to the Dharma Center. So I stayed in Monterey Park. It's Monterey, Monterey Park. And from where I was staying to the house, from the house I was staying to the high school was about half hour to 45-minute walk, back and forth. It's a little bit far, but it's very nice. The weather is quite nice in the morning and night. So the only thing I can do was I was working at McDonald's in the afternoon until midnight. Then after that I had to do my homework, and then during the day I had to go to school. And so the only time I can do my sadhana was walking to school. So every single day I would avoid any friends. Sometimes my friends wanted to walk with me, but I tried to avoid it. I would walk from the place I was staying to school, and I would do my mantra. So I would make sure I do 1,000. But of course, if I was quiet and I did it fast, I can almost finish. If I wasn't quiet, I have to do on the way there and on the way back, I would do my mantras. Then I get home, do my homework quickly, or do a little bit and then go to work, and then come back from work. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes attachment, and I go with my friends and we go do this and do that, and we're talking on the way to school and back. So I have to do my mantras after McDonald's, after midnight, so I'd be at home keeping awake. But I kept doing my mantras. That was many, many years ago. A lot of obstacles. Lots of obstacles. Lots and lots of. It's not like now people just do the mantras a little bit. They don't feel good. The aircon's on, dearie. You're in your own house. The aircon's on. You're in your own house. You have a refrigerator. You're comfortable. There's no mosquitoes. You're not sleeping outside. And you can't do the mantras because you have 108 mental problems and obstacles and canals and fears. And you just create the obstacles for yourself. I was doing mantras on the streets. I was doing mantras walking back and forth to school. I was doing mantras. Why? How you do it or don't do it is not your obstacles. Let me make it clear. It's your commitment. If you're not a committed person, you will let yourself say, no, I won't. Whether you do it or you don't do it is your own commitment. And how strong your commitment is how much you want it. And how much you want it is how valuable you realize what you're doing is. How valuable you know what you're doing is dependent on knowledge. And knowledge is dependent on listening. Listening is dependent on patience. Patience is dependent on compassion. Compassion is dependent on knowing that if you don't do this, you and others that you love will suffer. It's all coming back to the self-cherishing mind. Commitment to self-cherishing mind. I made a link for you. So if you don't do any of your commitments, you don't care. Don't talk about that your Lama is the highest Lama in the world, the most powerful Lama in the world, and be selective. Some people are very selective. What they're supposed to do with their Lama, they don't do. But what other things their Lama says, they take that out and they become political, and then they talk this can, this cannot, this can, as if they're so holy, as if they're so good, as if they do their commitment so well. And then they lose confidence, they lose faith. Maybe they have faith, maybe they don't have confidence, maybe they go this way, maybe they go that way, back and forth, and they waste their whole lives away that way. Why is it a waste of life? Certainly we're here more than just to eat and sleep and entertain ourselves with little friends and pets and movies and entertainment, isn't it? Certainly it's more than that. Certainly it must be more than that. So therefore, commitment is not how many obstacles you face. It's not. Commitment is how much you want it. how much you want it. All of us have gone through very difficult situations for something we wanted. All of us. All of us have gone through very difficult situations. Whether it's to meet a boyfriend or a girlfriend, we'll go to extensive lengths to connect with them, to be with them, to impress them, to take a shower, to look good, to talk sweet, be alert, be quick. Maybe even have a car, maybe even pay exorbitant payments to impress our girlfriend to have a nice car. We'll go through a lot. And then whatever we suffer to get to that person that we want, that we desire. It's all obstacles, what? But we're willing to do it. Why are we willing to do it? Because we want it. We want it. Very simple. And that applies to everything else. So if we think that, we don't have commitments, we can't do commitments, and I've never had commitments, that you are absolutely wrong. Even the person who's had the easiest life in the world, with a golden spoon in their mouth, they've chased for things, or they've had difficulties according to their own degree that they went after and they got. It's just whether they want it or not. So if we don't want it, we call it an obstacle and we stop. But it's actually an excuse. And we shouldn't make that excuse to ourselves. Why? We have to make priorities straight. Everything that we do, except for Dharma practice, everything that we do will bear little or no positive results, will not be continuous. It's just a distraction. And it is things that we have created, self-created, that we have tangled ourselves in this web. It's all self-created. But Dharma practice is very different. Dharma practice looks like it's a tangled web, but actually it's an exit. It's a way out. It is a way out. So how much we keep our commitments is exactly how we can gauge everything else in our lives. Everything else with our lives. So we have to think very carefully. Think very, very carefully. What is the purpose of a commitment?